sounds that I want to use. So that right now I'm about to start with the hi-hats. So I just put like a basic hi-hat pattern. I think I want to get like a basic bounce first, and then we see like where it can go from there. So when I was coming up with this beat, I started with the main melody. I just used a piano or a keyboard, and this is how it sounded. After I came up with that, I basically rendered it out, then reversed it, and this is how it sounds. The next thing I did was pick out the sounds for the drums, and I basically just picked out an 808 hi-hat, a pack, a kick, open hat, and this is how the drums sound alone without the melody. So to support the main melody, I just added extra little accents, and an example is this. I don't know if it's a sine wave or a synth. And I also added this. I think it was a violin, and this is how it sounds. So all the melodies together sound like this. All together, this is the beat. Sorry, I put halftime on it. This is how it's supposed to sound.
Starting the beat,
Yeah.
do you go off a plan, or it's just like whatever just happens in the moment just happens?
To be honest, it can be either way. Sometimes I do have a plan in mind, and I stick to that. Especially if maybe an artist has asked me to make a specific type of beat. But other times, especially when I'm just trying to be creative, I'll just start off and like let the music like lead me where it wants to lead me. Yeah.
So like even in relation to that,
Mhm.
like, do you go off like, okay, like are you going to be like, I'm going to make trap today, or
Oh. I feel like, especially, I feel like something like that comes in seasons. Like there's times when you wanna make R&B, there's times when you want to make trap. So I do go off of like what I'm feeling for that specific day. Most times, like I personally really enjoy making R&B, but trap comes natural to me as well. So yeah.
like when you're starting the beat, which one, like what format do you prefer, MIDI or audio? Which one is easier to use?
Like when I'm making the beat.
Yeah.
To be honest, I feel like if you're using a sample like a wave file or something, like an audio, it makes the process a lot faster. Like you can come up with an idea and finish a beat within minutes. Really, I do like using MIDI sometimes though, because I feel like it gives me the ability to add more, add more accents, add more things to the beat. Like it has this freedom where you can like do anything to the beat if you wanted to. I feel like maybe sometimes using a sample can be limiting.
So, like what producers do you look up to, like in terms of production, like now?
Yeah.
This time.
Right now I would say I've been watching a lot of like YouTube producers, and one of them is called Lona. He produces R&B stuff for like Caesar, Brent Fayaz, but in general, like even coming up as a producer, I used to look up to Pierre Bourne, and at some point Metro. But I feel like every producer looks up to Metro. Yeah.
It's kind of a cliche.
Yeah. I don't know why, but like those are the only guys that are coming to mind. But I also do look up to like Kenyan producers though. Like I have a lot of friends who make amazing music, and they inspire me as well. Like my friend Cap, he makes really beautiful music. I have a homie of mine. His name is Slumberland. He's also like a big inspiration for me. Yeah.
Shout out Slumberland.
Yeah.
But the new beats
Yeah.
spot for him.
Yeah.
Geek and Freaks.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tunes, man.
Yeah.
In terms of like bounce, do you usually have a formation? Like, do you have a go-to when you're starting like the whole process?
I wouldn't really say so. I try my best to listen to listen to the melody first, and build a bounce around that, rather than like starting with a bounce then making the melody fit that. I feel like it would be okay either way, but my process is usually listening to the melody and coming up with a bounce that matches the melody.
So, what do you do when you, like, those days you have writer's block?
Yeah.
Like, how do you approach? Like, you really want to make, but the inspiration is not there, but you're trying to force something out.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go about that?
I would say my experience with that, it has been sometimes all it needs is just like maybe something to inspire you. So whenever I feel like that, I just go to YouTube and I start watching tutorials. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you watch something and you instantly want to sometimes you watch something and you realize you're not really feeling it. Like whether it's making a beat or watching tutorials, you're just not feeling the whole thing. And whenever I feel that way, like when I try my best and the vibe just isn't there, I just switch to something else. Like I take my mind off music, even if it's for a few days. And by the time I come back, things are usually better, because I feel like you can be making music for days on end, maybe for like 2 weeks. Every day you're making beats, and then like on one day like something just happens and you don't have any inspiration. I don't really think you can force that. I mean, you could try, but maybe you might not really love what you make. And I feel like something should be natural. Yeah.
But have you ever like looked into like ways of just beating writer's block? Because there are a few ways. You can even just switch up the way you like start up.
Oh, I get you.
Like
Yeah.
start with the melodies to maybe like I'll start with the 808s, do the drums, and then just see where it goes from there.
I definitely have tried that before. I feel like sometimes it works. Sometimes it definitely it gets you going. Like you start making a beat differently from what how you would usually do it. But sometimes also I do that and whatever makes sounds shit. So yeah. So like, to be honest, it just depends. I've I would just say I've learned not to force something if it's not working. Yeah, but I know there's definitely ways around like beat block. Yeah, but I realized, especially for me, I didn't want to make, I didn't want it to, I didn't want to become a machine like where every day I have to make. I wanted to still enjoy making music. So yeah, that's why that's why I say sometimes I just take a break. Yeah.
What artists right now would you say are like inspiring your sound generally,
Yeah.
like in this time?
I would say when it comes to R&B, it's I listen to a lot of Brent Fires and Caesar and Cash Page. Like just listening to the music, I really love what they do with the melodies. So like that music inspires me in terms of R&B. When it comes to trap, I listen to a lot of Lil Tecca. I've also been listening to Travis quite a lot, and Baby Keem, especially Baby Keem. I feel like uh, some of his like previous albums before Melodic Blue, they are big inspiration for the way I make trap. Yeah.
Very high intense.
Yeah.
Has some a specific bounce.
Exactly.
That gets you going.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's also this South African artist. His name is Blackie. Even listening to his music as well, it's a source of inspiration because um, there's this way that like South African producers incorporate their own like traditional instruments into trap beats, and like I try to learn from that as well. Yeah, so sometimes you might find me like using a log drum on a trap beat. Yeah, something like that.
Like, are there any South African producers you're conversing with?
To be honest, I sometimes I'll be watching like South African tutorials of South African producers, but I don't really know their names like that. They're recommended on my YouTube. Yeah.
The guy I would recommend to you his name is Zuchi Coke Dope. It's like basically like the Metro in
Yeah.
South Africa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go and listen to him. His
Yeah.
music is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Kenyan music scene, like, are you seeing like there's a big improvement over the years, or like what's happening?
I feel like there's definitely been a really big improvement because when I was starting to make music in 2018, there's a big difference. Like what really made me interested in making music was like going through SoundCloud and stumbling across like very talented people. I remember listening to Beatty, Kahush,
Charlie G.
Shali G, Malkizi, Jerome. There's a whole list of people. Yeah, and that shit really inspired me. But back then, like it was, I don't really think the knowledge of how to release music was even there. Like it wasn't necessarily. Oh, people didn't know how to release music. People didn't know how to.
Go around
it-
marketing.
exactly. So right now, I feel like there's so much more information out there. So many people are like deciding to to produce music, to write, record music. Also, I feel like the fact that Spotify came to Kenya, I don't know if it was 2020 or 2021, that really changed the game because like now you can see people are actually starting to kind of even earn from the streams of their music. Um, Guys are actually like they're taking their music seriously, like they are releasing music on DSPs and all that. I would say maybe we're kind of lagging behind on audience members. I would call them audience members, like they're not necessarily open to supporting.
The local
Yes, supporting local artists. I feel like some of them are so opposed. Like I saw, I think Lisa Odor was was featured on Colors the other day, and like there's still people who have a problem with that, like people saying, oh, like you're not being authentic, nini nini.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people have like feel like they have to have a template for what art should be. Especially if you don't necessarily make art yourself. Yeah, so I mean, I think if people were more accepting, like if people try to go out there and listen to Kenyan artists, they would actually find whatever suits them. Like you don't have to be so uh,
Fixated on.
yeah, fixated on a specific, or like let I don't know how to say it, but it's like you have a preconceived thought of what people are making, like what Kenyan music is, and you're like fixated on that. Yeah.
I feel like also on that, I feel like people think just because we're from Africa, we're not allowed to explore other genres of music, and it's
Yeah.
like music is perceptive. Whatever someone wants to make is what they'll make.
Yeah.
If you're African and you want to make hip hop, like go crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're African, you still want to make R&B, like do your
Yeah.
thing, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I feel like it's all about perception. And
Definitely.
once people's perception changes, it's lit.
That's true.
But I feel like on the Spotify issue, I feel like that's helped a lot of artists generally because it was only available to like the western side.
Yeah.
So like when they put it global,
Mm.
it just made it a whole lot easier to unstreamed and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a very big move.
Yeah, to be
in the
honest.
right direction for a lot of people.
Yeah. I feel like probably within the next few years, I mean, I feel like there's been so much growth since even like those SoundCloud days, like 2017, 2018 till now, and that's just 5 years. So I'm thinking probably in the next 5 years things are gonna keep changing. I mean, if hopefully, but yeah, like if things go the way they've been going, I think we're honestly headed in the right direction. Yeah.
What would you say about the new wave in music, the underground scene, like
In Kenya or
just generally, like artists like Heat who brought a whole new sound to the scene and have
Yeah.
inspired a lot of artists to go in that direction.
yeah.
Like, what would you say your opinion is on that? Like, seeing where it's going and everything.
I mean, I think I honestly I really encourage it. The thing is, like in each era of music, there's always something new coming up, and there's always people who feel like it's not good enough. But over time, like you like come to learn to like enjoy it and let it be what it is. I feel like, for example, someone would be so opposed to listening to it because they just want like
So that they can hear what
yeah,
they're saying.
yeah, maybe they want like bars or lyrics or stuff like that. But in his own way, it is like being very experimental with his voice, with how like whenever you listen to his songs, it's like
It's a breath of fresh air.
yeah, it's like well embellished. It's not just what you've been listening to over the past 10 years. So like I would honestly say I encourage whatever's going on right now.
Very
Yeah.
true to his art.
Mm.
Very true to his art. And what would you say about his producer? Like his main producer, Benny X?
I mean Benny X is fire. He's goated, man.
He's had a year, bro.
Yeah.
This year's been his year. for
Yeah.
sure.
Trust, but I also feel like I'm not sure if this is actually the way it is, but I feel like every year there's always like one producer who's like outshining everyone else. For example, probably last year it was like ATL Jacob because he had like a wild run. Yeah. Metro, especially around 2018, bro, he was going crazy. Yeah, so like I feel like
It's all about the season.
yeah.
A lot of people are saying this guy is gonna be around for.
I mean,
quite some
trust.
time.
Like it's not just like a phase. I feel like I mean, it just depends on how the producer is able to nurture their career. For example, how like Metro did it. I mean, the fact that he was running the game for like 2-3 years, then he decided, let me step back, and then like he came back to like making music later on. Yes, like sometimes it's really just about how you like what direction you want to take it.
What advice do you have like for up and coming producers, artists generally, like as of now?
I would probably say, when you like while you're making music, just make sure you're having fun and you're doing what you love to do. Like I would advise you to explore, push your own boundaries, push your own limits, learn new things, and overall also like while you're doing all that, just make sure you're like researching about how to market your stuff, and researching about the music business, because as much as you can make amazing music, right now that's not all it takes. Like right now you also like you kind of have to be your own manager, you have to be your own editor, your own like marketer. So it's really all about researching and learning to do like what you can. Yeah, and also just being patient with your journey. Like sometimes it takes time. So really there's no rush. Yeah.